a violent vertical edge setter.
We competing today. I see some ass off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop. You're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird. It worse than that second.
Beefy's having a pre-show smoke. Ooh, I'm all glitchy. What happened there? Am I glitchy? What's happening, everybody? Yeah, it's glitchy. What's going on? I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, everybody. Let me get some pages shut down. Well, here we are. So, welcome to the After Hours Jets Fest. I'm GreenBean. I know I don't look, I'm not in my regular garb. Feeling schnazzed today. Yes. I'm wearing my chubbies, as you guys know. If you watch the Talking Jets panel tonight with Matt O'Leary and Ryan, you know that the show is sponsored by Chubbies. I'm still wearing it because I gotta be honest, they're awesome. But anyway, how you guys doing? How you feeling? It feels like the energy in the last stream was low. The energy the other night, I was doing something and it was low. I know if we get mad at something, we can get real fired up, right? But there's the idea that, we got a game this week. We're playing the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith is coming back into the fray. It's hard to get up for it, isn't it? I mean, let's be real here for just a second. Does anybody really think that the Jets are going to beat the Seattle Seahawks? Let me know in the comments. I'm real curious to what you guys are thinking. I got the hiccups. What is that? Hold on, I got to get a drink. So, the Jets are not mathematically eliminated. Joe Buck sucks. Look at that name. I left it up there a long time, Joe Buck. Yeah, here we go. GreenBean for GM. Thank you, guys. GreenBean new regime. I'm serious. I hope I get an interview. I don't have any real misgiving. I don't have any real, hopes. Real hopes in the back of my brain. There's a little 0.005% hope, but I'm gonna go for it. Why not? Weirder things have happened. I mean, I don't know if anything weird has happened, but weird stuff happens. Let me say that. So I'm gonna go for it, and I'm telling you right now, guys. Like Bishop said, GreenBean for GM. I am confident. Confident. You give me 3-4 months to get acclimated in that building. See who's who, see what's where, see what the thing is, how to do that. Give me 3-4 months, and I will be buzzing, operating. 2 years. We're in the Super Bowl. And if not the Super Bowl, we're back to respectability, and we're in the playoffs, and we're doing all that stuff. We're no longer a laughingstock. I don't get fired from jobs. I resign if I want to move on for something better. And I wouldn't get fired from that one. That said, the Jets are not mathematically eliminated. We know this. If we ran the table, there's a decent chance that we make the playoffs. So why wouldn't we root for that, right? Why wouldn't we root to run the table? Well, I don't know why. Unless, for me, like I said, I'm going to root until there's no rooting left. But I'm nearing the edge. I'm pondering. I'm looking at some prospects, which I didn't want to do. I'm pondering. I'm looking at, the idea, guys, that we are, the fact, not an idea, the fact that we are literally one game out of the top overall pick And how many years have we watched the Jets win meaningless games later in the season? We can't do anything when it matters. And then at the end of the year, we start beating teams we shouldn't beat, or, it's like squeaking stuff out. And we get all happy and we ruin our draft selection. Like I've mentioned many times, the Jets are a different level of suck than the other teams that suck. The Browns, the Cardinals, the Panthers, the perpetuals, the Jaguars. We suck and we never get the number one pick because we don't know how to suck properly. We don't know how to do it. We can't. We always get with some pride game, we're going to win something. We haven't had the number one overall pick since 1997. It's a long time. Okay? It's a long time. It's 27 years. So think of it. That's almost 30 years. Think of how bad we've sucked, so bad that we are quite literally the laughing stock of the NFL. And no matter which bubble of teams sucks around us, we're always in that mix. Yet we cannot figure out. It's almost 30 years and we have not sucked bad enough to get the cream of the crop. The number one, whether you want to trade it, whether you want to use it, whatever. But that all said, we're 9. We have the opportunity, the potential, the chance to be 9-8. And are you really thinking that we're going to do it? Like, what have they shown you to make you? So even now, when you want to root for the run in the table, it's hard because you gotta. It's more likely there's a better chance that we're just going to ruin the tank. Right now, we're one game out of first. See what I'm saying? It's tough. Yeah, that's the way, John. You make yourself what they call I'm so tired. Let me see what the word is. Not irreplaceable, because nobody's irreplaceable, right? You make yourself instrumental. Jesus. What's the word? What's the word? Tell me. Indispensable. That's what it is. There it is. Scott Wilson. I see you. Right. What makes Mike Mayock any more qualified than you? You know the history and the details that's needed to turn this around. That's just it. Like, yeah, you know what? They know more than me because their job is that, right? So that's all they do. So they're experts, technically speaking. They know the proper terminology. They know the way to evaluate. They have the systems and all that stuff. Dude, give me fucking 2 weeks with the systems. You know how many times I figured out new systems? I just yelled in my house. My wife just the other day sent me another app to like keep track of the kids, I don't know, schoolwork or something. And I had a breaking point. Like, I'm starting a whole new business, this whole new thing. I got all these new platforms and new third-party vendors. I'm dealing with all their shit and the reports and I keep having to learn. I just said, enough with the apps. Like, I broke. Enough, please. I can't have another app. I got so many apps. I'm on so many apps, dude. So many passwords. So many reporting platforms. But you're right. We saw Mayock as an expert that took 2 players. Let me see something here. I'm going to let's pull up Raiders drafts by year. Hold on. Let's take a look. The Raiders draft history. So when was the last? 2022, right? I think it was. So in 2021, they took Alex Leatherwood, which was an overdraft. I liked Alex Leatherwood. Don't get me wrong, but I thought they reached, and he was a bust, first round pick. But this is these 2 years, 2019 and 20 are the big ones. Right? Let me see something. Let me make sure Mike Mayock was in charge of the draft at that point. 2019 to 21, right? So they had 2 firsts, and they took Cleveland Farrell at 4 overall, which was like, what? That was a reach. Now, they did the thing that a lot of teams do. The Jets were famous for this many, many times. We take a guy. We did it with Will McDonald recently. Now, he's looking like he's going to be somebody, but still, you could have traded. You could have got him later. You know what I mean? The Jets thought everybody was onto it. It's like Mike McCagnon with Hackenberg. Remember, he was afraid teams were going to trade ahead of him to get him. He was going to trade up for Hackenberg. They were like, this is undraftable. 6th round, 7th round, something like that. Mike McCagnon's in the 2nd round sweating, you know? So they did that thing that teams do. They're like, I know the secret. I got the guy. I know the guy. It's not that hard. You get lost in the sauce. There's too much information. Like, you ever go to Wawa or Sheetz? Wawa's the worst, though, in my opinion. Sheetz is bad, too. They're all fucking bad. You walk into a Sheetz or a Wawa, and you have an idea you want a Diet Coke, right? That's what you're in the mood for. You go get it. Let me pull over and get a Diet Coke real quick. And you walk into Wawa, and what do you see? You see 1,700 different drink options. You're looking at apple juice. You know what I mean? You're looking at liquid death. What's that? Looking at diet ginger ale. Oh, there's a new soda, Starry. What the fuck is Starry? You're like, you know what I mean? And you're in there, and it's like, it makes it hard. Like, just give me like Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Sprite. You know what I mean? Few options, fine. But there's so many that you end up being confused. I spend 10 minutes at the drink wall sometimes. And then I'm like, I walk out with what? I will get Diet Coke. I'm like, you know what? Screw this. But it's like, it makes it harder. You go to a place, you go to a drive-through, right? And there's just the menu that, it's like they got, a double burger, a burger, or whatever. It's like, it makes it simple. And you go, all right, I'll take a double burger and fries and whatever. When they have 200 items, what do you say at the drive-thru? Hold on a second. I want to read your menu and see what's the Taco Bell does that. Every 2 weeks, they got a new thing. The chicken fries box. Like, what the hell's that? You know what I mean? So you're like, I came here for fucking 3 soft tacos. And it's like, a 3 soft taco meal will do it. Get some cinnamon twists. Get out of here. Diet Coke, you beat it. No, now I'm looking at chalupas and Mexi melts and chicken fries. It's like taco fries and different layer burritos and all that jazz. So I don't know. I'm like in and out today. I apologize. I don't know what's going on. I just checked my internet. I'm rocking. I got good upload, good download. I don't know what that is. But anyway, Mike Mayock also took Cleveland Farrell and Josh Jacobs in that draft. Now, Josh Jacobs was later, and I think he was the consensus. Like, that was right where he was supposed to be taken, so it wasn't a big deal. But I thought the Raiders at the time, I remember thinking that they needed offensive linemen. That's what I thought they needed. And they took Cleveland Farrell and Josh Jacobs. So they did defense, offense, makes sense. Josh Jacobs was good for a minute, right? Then the next year, they have 2 first-round picks again. And they take, I'll just say the one. They took Henry Ruggs as the first wide receiver in that draft that had CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Reagor, Laviska Shenault, and fucking Van Jefferson, all the guys. Denzel Mims, Jerry Jeudy. Henry Ruggs why did they take him? He was little and fast, and they were thinking Tyreek Hill. I get it. He was no other. I'm telling you, man. Like, and how about the guys that took Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, the Eagles? 3 years later, he was on the Vikings with Justin Jefferson. They cut him. Like, you know? So Mayock is an expert. And what's he doing? You know what I mean? Tanner Muse. There's some good guys here. But you know what I mean? It's like Divine Diablo. Right on. They overdrafted him. I liked him in the 4th, but they drafted him in the 3rd. I like Divine Diablo, though. But anyway, it's like, why? These guys, like, they get lost in this all. It's simple, man. We know what we're collecting. We're not collecting personalities. We're not collecting traits. I know these guys are big on traits. I'm not big on traits. I get it. And that's part of it. But I don't override somebody who's a football player. I got 3 years of tape, and you got a combine, and you got workouts. And you're saying that the workouts show you that he has a developable trait. I get it. But if there's a blue-collar lunch pail football player standing right next to him, I'm picking the fucking lunch pail guy 9 times out of 10. You want to know why? Because he's a winner. He's going to find a way to win. He's going to do the hard work. He's going to do what you need him to do. And the trait guy, he's super fast, but he can't catch. And you can't teach him. He just sucks. You know what I mean? Zach Kuntz, everybody. Dante checking in. Thank you, Dante. He says, side note, you have a beautiful head of hair. I hate being bald. Thank you, buddy. You saw, right? I was trying to do like a long hair thing for a while. My wife said to me, she's been saying it for a while, but she said to me the other day, like, I guess it was like last week I got my hair cut. She said to me the other day, hey, enough with the hair. I said, really? You're done? You don't? She's like, look, man, we've been married a long time, enough with the hair. I said, oh, man, let me show you guys the hair. So just so you can remember it, I'll show you. See if I got a good picture of the hair for you. Here's a decent one. So this is what it was, right before I cut it. See if there you go. What do you think? So that's what it was, Dante. I was just hanging out. Anyway, that's that. But so, like, dude, look, about the tank thing and all that, it's tough to not root for the tank because they're not going to win out. And I mean, I would love it. And I think we have the horses to do it. I don't think we have the coaches. Frankie checking out. I'm rewatching the Denver game. O-line was so bad in that game. Yeah, dude. He got hit. Wasn't that the one he got hit 15 times? He got hit 15 times, sacked 7, I think it was. I might be wrong. Yeah, Scott says last time we had the number one over picked, it wasn't a quarterback. What was the 1996 draft? Well, you know what there was? There were 2 Hall of Fame left tackles. We had an aging Jumbo Elliott. He was on his last year. Why wouldn't you take Orlando Pace? Why wouldn't you take, and Peyton Manning was supposed to come out that year. Parcells blew it. Or take Walter Jones. Dude, both of those guys are in the Hall of Fame. Two of the top 5 picks were offensive tackles, and they're both Hall of Famers. And let's trade back. Arbiv, what's up, buddy? No turnaround this year. Lots of players on this team are on 1-year deals. They are not going to put their future at risk to hustle and win. I think they might. If they lose this game, then you're right. I think they might. There's one last gasp. There's one last breath here. One last swing. You never know. You got a puncher's chance. So you just take the swing. Some of these guys are older. CJ Mosley might be coming back. Morgan Moses is on the older side. So a lot of these guys, Devontae Adams. But I'm with you. We lose this game. We go to 3-9. The best record we could get is 8-9. We're already guaranteed a losing record. It's over. And if I was Woody, I'd knock on Phil Savage's door and I'd say, hey, who do we want to see? Which guys do we want to see? We want to see Malachi Corley. We want to see Isaiah Davis. We want to see Jason Brownlee. You want to see, Carter Warren. You want to see LT3. You want to see Braden McGregor, Eric Watts. Want to see JBC, Quantez Stiggers. Let's go. Put Eccles out there. Let's see if we're giving him a contract. It's time. And you put Adrian Martinez out there at quarterback. And you say, I don't care what your feelings are on Rodgers. I don't care. I don't care what you're going to say on McAfee. I want you to help Adrian Martinez. I want to see what I got. Does he have anything there? Is there anything there for a couple of games? Give him a full NFL game. Let's see. That's what I would do. Open up, like Tony says, open up the Martinez package. That's what I'd do. Paris checking in. What's up, good friend? Why do you think Woody Johnson didn't take advantage of hiring some ex-Jets players to help him with the hiring process like Curtis Martin? Well, he kind of did. He got ex-Jets GM. Well, look, the Curtis Martin thing, that's just, we made that up. Did Curtis Martin express any interest? Has Curtis Martin ever looked at personnel? You know what I mean? Like, has he ever done anything like that? Does he care to? Maybe he did. Maybe he called Curtis Martin and Nick Mangold and said, guys, I'd love you to pick the new GM. And they said, Woody, we're not putting our names on the line for that shit. We don't even know what we're doing. You know? So I don't know, Paris. I mean, I know we've talked about it. I think it'd be fun to have Curtis Martin as the president of football operations, but what does he know? Does he even want to? It's like, bro, I'm retired. I have a great life. You know what I mean? I have plenty of money. I do this and that. I do charity. I don't know what he does, but I mean, maybe, I know Curtis Martin is part of a group that wants to buy into the NFL. So maybe that's a conflict for him. Who knows? Let's see. What is that? Let's see what we got here. Where was it? Hey, buddy. Hey, Yeti. Thanks. It might be the lighting. Let's check. Let's check if it's the lighting. I got my mood lighting on. You guys know how I do it. Let me see. I got the app for that. See, I was complaining about my apps earlier. This will be the white light. Oof, that's gross. Oh, there it is. That's better. What do you think? Is my beard less good, Yeti? Frankie, there are no Buc-ee's in New Jersey. You know what I mean? You can't, where was I? What was I talking about? Wow. Yeah, Buc-ee's. But for my analogy, I don't know why I said New Jersey. Buc-ee's, there's nothing like Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is like 10 Wawas in one. Dude, the first time I saw Buc-ee's when we were on the road, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was the largest gas station I had ever seen. I mean, and by a mile. It wasn't like, oh, that's a big gas station. It was like, what is that? And I had to pull in. Walk in, there's like a mall, it's like a Walmart in there. They'll make you fucking pulled pork. You get your suit tailored. It's the craziest place I've ever seen. Buc-ee's. That's right, Bishop. It's my interview haircut. I like that. Oh man. It says Paris, sorry. Thank you. He says, if you're the Jets GM and Woody wants you to trade for a player or fire someone, what do you say to him? How do you keep your authority as the GM? Well, look, like I've said before, I've worked for national health groups, like with boards of I've worked for numerous companies with boards of directors. The last company I worked for, they own 3 different big companies. I was the smallest company. Right? I was the director of one facility in the smallest part of their business. They were a large hotel chain and they have like many nursing homes as well. Big, 100 people nursing homes. So if I wanted to make a decision, I could make my decisions, but if it impacted something larger, I had to get board approval. So even and then that at Delphi, which was a national health group, I was the executive director of 2 separate two programs at the same time, big ones. And then I was a consultant on the detox that we were opening as well. I was helping out with that. So I can do what I want, but it's like there are times, Paris, where the CEO steps in and he'll call me or whatever, and he'll say, "Hey, we got to do this. So I need you to do that." And I have had big problems with that. Like sometimes it's gone contrary to what I had been building for months. I was moving everybody in one direction and they said, "Look, it's not going to work. We need you to do this now." And I'm like, "But that doesn't make any sense, blah, blah, blah." There are some times that you can argue your points and make an impact. There are other times you can just argue your points for the sake of arguing it. So it's like on the record. And there are other times where the owner, the CEO, whoever says the directive and there's no arguing. And you got to know what those times are. So if it's like, "Hey, I think you should this," and I can say, "Well, did you think about X, Y, and Z?" Because if I do that, let's just talk about this. I'm not against it, but let's talk about it. Because if I do that, like I'm really one of my things that one of an asset that I have, Paris, is I innately, without even thought, think of 1 or 2 immediate areas that a decision impacts, whether it's people, whether it's money, budget. I immediately think about that. That sounds good, but did we factor in this? If we do that, how are we going to address this? Because it directly impacts that. And a lot of times I've had CEOs say to me, I wasn't aware of that, or we didn't think about that. Like another thing that I do is I love to let owners, CEOs make their case, say the thing, "I want everybody to blah, 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 blah." And some people respond immediately. The owner said it, chop everybody's head off, burn it all, shred the papers, whatever it is. I'm also one, I've learned over the years to wait a day. Because a lot of the time, that initial directive, if it's born in emotion, if it's born in, they don't have all the info, whatever it might be. So many times, man, there was a firm directive. And the next day or 2 later, they come back and they soften it and they go, "Hey, we're still going to do that, but you don't have to do this and that and this." I go, well, boy, am I glad I didn't fire everybody. So there are some times that the owner just says, "Look, I want this guy gone." You say, "Yes, it's not up for debate." Okay. You got to do it. And not only do you got to do it, but you got to make it yours. You can't say, "Hey, asshole wants me to." That's the other thing. Successful directors, what you do is you own every decision. You never create a rift between where we are and corporate. You never do that. That's the job of the director, is that everything is the same. We are one. Paris. See, I'm telling you, man, I know how to do this. Am I still fucking live? It's like my internet is crazy. I can't see all the posts, all the comments. It's weird. If I'm missing any comments or super chat, I apologize because let me see something. I don't think I am. Dude, Beefy, let me tell you. The truth is that if Zerline just made the kicks in 3 games, we're already a 6. It's a totally I don't even think Salah gets fired. Honestly. The Denver game's a win. We're 3-2. Heading into the Minnesota game. I think he missed a field goal in that one too. Right? I think he did. I'm starting to disengage a little bit. Hold on. Let me look at the schedule here. So the Jets. Yeah. So we lost that game by 6 points. So the Denver game, we definitely could have won it in the end. I think there was a missed kick. Right. So Aaron Rodgers threw that interception. I forget the scenario, man. Forgive me. The Bills game, he missed 2 kicks and we lost by 3. So think about that. That's an AFC division game. The Bills are down 1. We're up 1 more. So think about it. If he just makes his kicks, we're at 6 wins and the Bills are 1 less win. See what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. The Zerline thing, but it goes to the coaching, dude. He looked like that in the preseason. You have to be able to know my kicker's off. I only have one of these guys. Like, there's a shorter leash. And even if you don't want to cut him, you gotta bring in a kicker. You gotta have 1 less defensive tackle, whatever it is. You gotta do it. He's off. He needs 2 weeks. I need somebody in here. They wouldn't do it. And they did that shit with so many other players. They just wait. He's so talented, blah, blah, blah. We love him. We're loyal. You can still be loyal. You just talk to him and say, bro, you're clearly off. Take 2 weeks. Get the leg right. You're off. I can't lose games. It is, right, Aaron? I mean, the last stream was doing that too. I was constantly buffering. Because we're on a different platform. Like, even right now, like, I'm looking at my platform, but YouTube's over here. Right? So like, I have them both open. So before, it would just keep buffering on YouTube, and then I would look to see if that's why I was like, what's happening? Peter, I'm working, buddy. I have a new business that I started. So I resigned from my executive director role at the last place on September 6th. And I have been working on building a new company since. And today I had a great meeting where, my new brand is amazing. A brand meeting with my brand people and my design team. It's going to be, I'm going to fucking change the world. And I mean that sincerely. I'm going to change the world. But no, I work more. Plus, I might even be working with this program here, getting half of that, something else, an IOP program in Charlottesville. I might be doing that. So there's a lot of work. Plus, I do this. This is not easy. The hardest thing I do every week, even with all my jobs, the hardest thing I do is the live streams for the Jets games. 4 hours of talking about the New York Jets while they're losing, and games like the Carolina game. I'm sorry, I keep saying that. The Arizona game. Games that you can tell they're dead in the water from the opening kick. You know what I mean? Those games. We got 4 hours. Me and Frankie and Jeremy, we're just talking. and watching, and it feels like the game just goes on. You look up, you're like, oh, it's still the third quarter. You feel like you've been there for years. And there's 1,000 people in the chat, and they're miserable. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's a hard thing to do, man. By the end of those streams, I am destroyed. That's why I'm glad they're all 1:00 games moving forward for the rest of the year. We shouldn't be on primetime. We never should have. One. We earned one primetime game. That's all. Hey, Sal. Hey, buddy. The only reason I don't want to beat the Dolphins is because it would make you Bills fans happy. I don't want to beat them anyway. I don't want to beat anybody unless we're going to run the table, which we're not. Think about it. We got to go through Seattle, the resurging Dolphins, the Bills. There's no way. So why win any of them? Why win any of them? Like, you got to have the balls to do that. And if you piss some people off, then you piss some people off. You say, here's the thing. Here's the thing, man. I want to do what's right to get this really. I don't want to half-ass this anymore. We're going to fucking pull the Band-Aid off, and we're going to do it together. We're all going to experience it. We're all going to experience this, and it's going to suck. But you know what? It's going to suck now, so we don't have to half suck next year. We're going to get it right. But we're not winning any more games. I don't care who I have to sit. You, my friend, are under contract. And I don't mean to be a douche like that. That's not my intention, but that's what it is. And I'm going to build this team in a way that makes you proud to play for it. But I need this. I need this now. I got a plan. I need you guys to buy into the plan and work with me during the shitty period. Nothing beautiful ever comes without the shitty period. And if you get it first, the shitty period's coming later when you forgot that shitty periods exist. Like if you come into the NFL, you land on the 2012 Patriots, and you just, yay! Oh, don't worry. Your shitty period will come later. There's no way. You're not getting out of this one unscathed, man. You know what I mean? That's it. Nobody's getting out of here without scars. So we're going to choose when we wear our scar, where we get our scars. It's going to be now. It's going to be on our fucking terms. That's how we do it, Sal. Fucking Buffalo Bills. I can't believe it. But good for you, buddy. Winnable? That was our game. So was the Steelers game. How did we collapse like that? It's leadership. It's not the players, man. And I know we say, oh, well, the coaches aren't dropping the pass. The coaches in throwing. I get all that. You can manage it. Believe me. I told you guys, if I get the GM job, I'm also going to give myself an offensive assistant, like quality control. Why? So I can justify my presence on the sideline all damn game. I'd be with my players constantly. My accountants, like if a general manager is spending more time with the accountants than they are with the players, then they're doing it wrong, in my opinion. You walk into the accountant meeting and go, here's what I need to accomplish. Here are my goals. You guys are 25 times smarter than me in this realm. I have no idea how you do what you do, but here's my goal. And I need it to be accomplished. Bring me the top 3 ways that this can be accomplished. At 4 p.m., we'll have our meeting, and I'd go back to the players. That's it, because it's fucking football. The business will make plenty of money when we know how to play football. The business will be successful when we are successful as a football team. That's it. Everything else is ancillary. Everything. And it'll all come. Branding. Where's my branding and marketing department? Come here. Here's our goals. Here's the numbers we need to hit. Figure it out without ruining the Jets chant. Okay? Yeah, it's untouchable. You don't touch the goddamn Jets chant. Okay? It's not for sale. We'll figure out how to make it another way. Plus, let's lower the parking price around this fucking place. That's it, Mercy Fee. It doesn't need to be a teardown, dude. We got so much talent here. It's like when the players talk about selling off, fire sale. I don't see it. I don't see it. Right, I got to remember how many fantasy people are going to be mad. That's all right. You know what I'll do, Scott? I would have the best fan outreach department in the entire league too. Fan outreach. We'd be taking care of fans. We'd be making sure that you guys felt appreciated. You guys felt honored. So anything we did, you'd be like, yeah, but they did this, that, and this for us. Plus, I'd be in the parking lot before games. Don't tell me I can't. I could do all of it. I would do all of it. Be walking around. What do you guys think? They'd be like, hey, Bean, you ever think about this guy? Who's that? Talk to me. What do you got? Why? They'd say some fucking, big fat drunken guy's like, let me tell you why we should get Jameis Winston. I'm like, all right, what do you got? I do that for 2 weeks. Dante checking back in, man. Look at Dante. Thank you, buddy. He says, this is never going to happen, but imagine if the Jets did beat every team for the rest of the season and somehow, by the grace of all the gods, made it to the playoffs. I wouldn't even know how to react. I would know how to react, Dante. Confused. What? We win Seattle, and I'm in. I'm going to root until we're out, but I'm very close to not wanting to root. I'm ready to tank it. I'm ready. And I wouldn't even mind, like if we won out or we won, let's say we win 5 of the last 6. We get to 8 and 9 and we miss the playoffs by a game. But Aaron Rodgers looks great. Garrett Wilson's 1,200 yard. You know what I mean? Like, you see it. I got no problem running it back for a year. I'm not with this coaching staff. Can't do it. You got to do the thing you got to do. But you just say, okay, well, look, we're going to run it back with this group for a year. But don't worry, we're building for the future. But if we run it back, it sucks because it's a 1-year thing. And a lot of it was on the kicker. And then there was this and then the other thing. And then Jermaine Johnson gets hurt and Reddick's holdout. It's like everything was kind of jostled and it needed to be set. And that's why I don't like the management of this season, which is where Joe Douglas lost me. You guys know I defended Joe Douglas to the last minute. But where he started to lose me, it's like, dude, when you're going all in, there is no half-assing an all in. There is no drafting for the future in an all in. If I'm in the 6th round and I see a guy that can help me right now on special teams, he's valued more than a guy that in 3 years could be my second string right now. You got to look at it that way. I'm sorry. If we're going all in, we're going all in. You don't go into a firefight and leave a couple guns at home. Like, no, if you're going to do it, then you do it. The second they made the decision to trade for Aaron Rodgers, all resources should have been focused right now. Everything. We should not have gone into last season with Mekhi Becton and Dwayne Brown at left tackle. There's no way. And untested depth behind them. There's no way. I'll tell you how you would react, though, Dante. You'd be happy, buddy. See, now Rusty is one of the smart. I don't know if you guys know this. Some of you do, some of you might not. He's one of the smartest people in the whole chat, always. And I tend to align with him often. We disagree at times, but a lot of the time I align with Rusty Spooner. And he's saying something right now. Did I just get kicked off fucking YouTube? Am I still live? YouTube just literally shut down on me. So if I'm not live, let me see here. It's just the whole channel, the whole YouTube. So I don't even know if I'm live right now. Let me see. Yeah, I guess you can hear me. Okay. All right, good. That's weird, man. But Rusty, what he's saying here, I hope we lose every game, get to the top pick, and trade back in the draft. Then trade out of the first and start in the second, then get multiple firsts for 26 and 27. What are we hearing about this first round? It's a light first round. The blue chips are light. And you're looking at guys like Mason Graham, defensive tackle. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to have them. But it's like, is the value there? If I'm in rebuild, if I'm in retool, restock the shelves, I want to do this as quick as possible, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to maximize the value of each thing. If I'm not going to waste upper tier value on less than upper tier value just because that's what's available. It's like walking into a car dealership and you got, somebody says, we'll give you a free car, any car on the lot. And the day you walk in, there's no Tacomas, there's no, I got right to trucks, right? But let's say you're in a Chevy, there's no Tahoes, there's no Suburbans. You're like, I guess I'll take a Malibu. That's fine. It's all right. I like a Malibu. It's good. But if you just waited, you said to somebody else, I'll give you this if you give me yours for tomorrow and a little something so I can get a fucking 2010 beater. And they go, yeah. Because I really love the Malibu and I want it now. Okay. So you get your beater. That's good. You can use it. It's functional, depth. And then tomorrow you walk in and they got Suburbans. And you're like, that's what I want. I want the Tony Soprano Suburban. See? That's how it goes. Ron Weiss checking in. What's up, Ron? Hey, bud. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your fam. Why can't we give the band one more season, son? Use the draft to fix things. Well, I'll tell you why. Because they fired the head coach and they fired the general manager. So they've started to erode. And Jeff Ulbrich looks to me like he's in over his head. Doesn't he, Ron? Like, if we're being objective, like if we weren't Jets fans and you're looking at this, like, yes, I like the idea from one perspective. Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Breece Hall, let them actually have something under their belt and then go in and be able to step on that. Like, now they know each other. Now they can play. They had to settle in. The offensive line was jacked. Tyron Smith was injured and bad and old. And you know what I mean? Morgan Moses was gone 2 weeks. JJ got taken out. Reddick was, the guy that was supposed to be our starting defensive end didn't come in till week 8, 9. You know what I mean? So there's logic there, except that we fired the head coach, who was not a good head coach. And the coach we got now doesn't look like he's going to be able to get us anywhere. He just doesn't. The offensive staff is very lackluster. Like, we were counting on Aaron Rodgers compensating for the suctitude of the offensive staff. He's not. He doesn't have that. That's not who he is anymore. He might be good enough to win some games, but he's not good enough to compensate for complete lack of offensive vision. You know? And when he is, we're seeing more delay of game penalties and timeouts than we'd like. You see what I mean? Everything impacts something else. So I don't know. I hear you though, Ron. And if they look at, and I'll tell you what, if they're at a position where they can't even get a head coach that's worth their weight, like, you know what I mean? Like they're floating in the pool of the third rates, then why not run it back? If you're going to have to get a guy to come in here and then run it back and do it next year. But get your GM. Let him figure it out. I'd figure it out. I'd know in 2 weeks if I had a shot with anybody. You know what I mean? You know right away. You know. You reach out to the agents and they go, dude, we're not going to be doing it. You're like, really? Even if I offer him $11 million? 5 years? No? No. Okay, goodbye. You know? And you go through that list. I know there's more nuances to it. I'm being simple, but it's like, really? Here's what I got. I'm ready to kick this thing into high gear. You want to be a part of that? Can you do this for me? I'm willing to compensate you mightily for this. I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing too over here. You want to come in? I'm telling you, we're going to rock this thing. No? If you get somebody that's good, then a different story. But if not, then if you're not going to get anybody that's better, clearly, then do it. I think it's a dangerous proposition. If you pull the Band-Aid off with Aaron Rodgers, it's significantly cheaper than if you pay him next year and push the dead cap to 26. It's bad. It's bad news. It ends up being like 60 million total instead of the 49, 48. So that's a decision too. You're going to have to make a decision at some point. They say everybody pays the piper. At some point, you got to pay the piper. You know what the piper is? Pipes. That guy. Everybody's got to pay the guy who pipes, everybody. Well, that's the thing. Do you think he is? I think Zach Wilson mentored Aaron Rodgers. That's what I think. I don't think Aaron Rodgers taught him anything. I think Zach Wilson rubbed off on Aaron. But I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know the inner. I don't know if I'm not in the inner circle yet. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be fun? Let's have some fucking fun. We'd be in the headlines. I'd walk up with my scepter, my trident. I'd do my first press conference with a trident. Watch everybody pipe down. They're all chattering in the press room. You go, the trident has been slammed. And a week or two in, they know when the trident hits the ground, it's time to zip the lip. Everybody goes, oh no, the trident. Pick it up. What'd you say? You can't do that. I'm telling you, Beefy, that's the way it went. I saw a great post by Shawnee Rock on Twitter. A great. He said, I forget how he said it, man, but he said, it's amazing how much Aaron Rodgers picked up from Zach Wilson in just one season. I was like, dude, it's hilarious. All right. Well, it's 11:30. I'm not going to go extra tonight. Yeah, thank you, Green Dog, as I wind it down here. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I had a good night. with you guys. We got a game this weekend. We'll be live for it Sunday, 1 p.m. We go live around 12:30. Jeremy, Jets Chaos, and Frankie from Flatbush and myself will be live. And we'll watch this game. And we'll see what's happening. This is a 1 o'clock game, right? Let me make sure. Sunday, 1 o'clock, December 1st. They're all 1 o'clock, except for the Dolphins Jets. That can be flexed. If we win out and we make it so if we win and we're in, then it's a big game. They'll flex us. I hope they don't. But, guys, with that all said, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Have a great night. I'll see you Sunday. Come hang out with us. Come hang out with us. It's a fun time. We make the best. We make lemonade out of lemons. You know what I mean? With that all said, have a great night. I'll see you there.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
He's gonna be